Alright everyone, and welcome back to the channel for another episode of This Week in Crypto, the news series where we cover everything going on in the markets this week in 5 minutes or less. There's a lot to talk about this week. There is tons going on at the start of the week, especially on Monday. So let's jump right into our first story for Monday. This comes from the Fed Funds Futures, which are currently showing the odds of another 75 basis point rate hike in September to be at 70.5%. I would have to say I'm in agreement of another 75 basis point increase in September. If you need a refresher, our next FOMC meeting is coming at the 21st of September in approximately 23 days. Moving on, let's jump into our second story. Now, the dollar is hitting a 20-year high as hawkish Powell signals further rate hikes. If you don't know what this story is in correlation to, it is in correlation to the most recent Powell speech at the Jackson Hole conference. I hope you had a chance to watch this. I posted this over on my Twitter. I posted what happened over on my Twitter, and we also made a video about this on YouTube. So as you can imagine, since Powell came out once again hawkish, the DXY has been on a move to the upside. This happened over the weekend, so we finally just had it open, and this is what's in question. Today we came up to 109.5. This is the highest the dollar has been in 20 years. So if we clear this up, we're now on the monthly time frame. You can really see this was the last time that we were at these valuations back in 2002. So with investor confidence going down the drain, as you can imagine, DXY is heading up. The traditional markets are heading down. We've been looking at this fractal on my channel for the past couple of weeks now. The SPX is dramatically heading to the downside. The NASDAQ, just like we predicted, is massively heading down, with the pre-market for all of these tech stocks absolutely rocketing. SPY down, SPX down, NASDAQ is down. Individual tech stocks like Google, Tesla, Meta, they are all biting the dust today. And just to wrap it all up in a neat bow, we've got the US government bonds 10-year yield coming up once again today, up about 2.3% on the daily. Talking about consumer confidence and volatility, let's move on to the volatility S&P 500 index, also known as the VIX. I'm hoping if you are watching this video, you're well versed in the VIX. I've talked about it many times on my channel. Basically, when the VIX goes to the upside, consumer confidence is going down. Expect more volatility as the VIX goes up. When the VIX goes up, people are buying options. The price of options are going to increase. They're buying options to hedge themselves for a move to the downside. And with the VIX going to the upside, this always normally correlates to a swing to the downside over in the traditional markets, which is why the VIX and the SPY are inversely correlated. The VIX opened up 5% today. Very, very bullish. It's come down a little bit since then, but we are up 2.3% on the day. So once again, with the VIX heading to the upside, it is not looking good for the consumer confidence in the traditional markets. And wrapping up with confidence in the markets, let's look at the crypto fear and greed index. As you can see, we are currently coming down into a valuation of 24, sitting in extreme fear as Bitcoin comes back to retest the 20,000 region. We previously had this drawn out in my videos, and once again, something really like this is exactly what we were calling for, is what I think is playing out in the markets right now. So moving on to our last stories for Monday, the Dow Jones is down about 0.5% today. Earlier on it was down about 1%, so it is bouncing back a tiny bit, but not looking good. And our final story for Monday comes from a crypto coin Avalanche, which has dropped 11% after self-described whistleblower says Avalanche weaponized litigation against rivals, which basically means that Avalanche paid lawyers to hurt competitors and keep regulators at bay. I personally think this news is incorrect, or it's FUD. The CEO has called this conspiracy theory nonsense. But nonetheless, I'm here to give you the news. You can make of it as what you will. Since this news came out, Avalanche broke down about 13%, and it has bounced back up. So it is down about 5% since this news came out. But that is all for Monday. Let's jump into what's going on Tuesday. We've got consumer confidence for Tuesday. Now, we've got both the Eurozone consumer confidence and the US consumer confidence. For the Eurozone consumer confidence, it is predicted that the investor confidence is going to remain the exact same, and the US confidence is going to go down. I'm of the opinion they're both going to go down, but keep an eye out on my Twitter. I will be keeping you up to date on these. If you do want to follow me over on Twitter, be sure to head over to @618_cowboy. Moving on to what is happening over on Wednesday, the Eurozone Consumer Price Index, also known as the CPI. This is currently sitting at 8.9, and it is predicted or forecast that we are once again going to be sitting at 8.9, and there's going to be no inflation whatsoever. Let's definitely keep our eye on this because energy prices are currently soaring through Europe, so I'm of the opinion that CPI is actually going to be up on Wednesday. Moving on to Thursday, this one isn't as much of an important news event, but we do have the US initial jobless claims. Once again, this is something I will be keeping you up to date on with the results of this, whether it's bullish or bearish, over on my Twitter. And wrapping up with Friday, this is going to be a semi-important day. We've got the US unemployment rate coming out. This is forecast to be remaining exactly the same. So once again, over on Twitter, I will be keeping you up to date with the results of the US unemployment rate. Like I said, most of the news is for Monday, so the start of the week for the stock market, for the crypto markets, is going to be very important. So that's all I've got for you for today's episode of This Week in Crypto. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, my friends. Hope you found some value in today's content. And as always, cowboy out. Peace.